Already, there have been many different vehicles mentioned at trial, and still one that hasn't come up. It's hard to remember them all, but each is important. We'll start by going over Jennifer's. The Range Rover. This Range Rover was still in the garage at her New Canaan home in the afternoon on the day she disappeared, even though Jennifer planned to drive it to New York City that morning. Blood evidence was found on the underside and smeared down the front and driver's side of the car. 2017 Suburban. Too big to park in the city, this car should have been parked in the garage that afternoon, but was missing. Surveillance camera from a neighbor captured it leaving Jennifer's residence at 10:25 a.m. It was located that evening on Lapham Road near Waveney Park. The battery was dead and the car had been left in reverse. Porsche Cayenne. A Porsche Cayenne was registered in Jennifer's name, but JenniferDulos wrecked the car while driving with Michelle Troconis and her daughter. It was never fixed and instead left in an unlocked garage in Avon, Connecticut. The front seats from this car were later removed by Pavel Gumeny at the request of JenniferDulos. More on that later. JenniferDulos had multiple cars registered through the foregroup, some for work and some for personal use. 2015 Suburban. 2 years older than Jennifer's Suburban, this was the main car Fotis used, especially when he had the children with him. 2014 Jeep Cherokee. This Jeep was the preferred car of both Michelle Troconis for daily driving and Pavel Gumeny for driving to work sites. On May 24th, the day of Jennifer's disappearance, Michelle was driving the Jeep. 2014 Ford F-150 Raptor. This truck was able to haul larger items like mirrors and vanities to work sites, but it took a lot of gas. This is the vehicle seen on surveillance on Albany Avenue the evening of Jennifer's disappearance. Cameras captured Michelle Troconis sitting in the passenger seat while JenniferDulos dumped trash in multiple receptacles along the road. One of the most important vehicles in this case belongs to the wife of Pavel Gumeny. It's registered to her, but he drove it daily. This red 2001 Toyota Tacoma was driven from Farmington to New Canaan and spotted on many different surveillance cameras with a bicycle in the bed. Pavel recognized this as the childhood bicycle of JenniferDulos, normally stored in the garage at 4 Jefferson Crossing. The Tacoma was captured by bus camera parked on Lapham Road during the window that Jennifer was attacked. It's believed that JenniferDulos took the bicycle from the bed of the Tacoma and rode it to Jennifer's home. It was him driving Jennifer's Suburban away from her home at 10:25, and he left it right next to where the Tacoma had been parked. Black GMC Yukon. This car hasn't been mentioned yet, and it may not come up at trial, but it's still important to the overall timeline. In the days after Jennifer's disappearance, Fotis and Michelle were seen driving a rented Yukon. More specifically, Michelle was driving the Yukon behind Fotis, who was driving the Toyota Tacoma, and they went to a car wash to clean and detail the Tacoma. Fotis then drove the Yukon to an ATM where he was captured on camera.